Right, so here we have your typical John Deere governor and fan shaft. On these they are mechanical driven fans. So the pulley on there is for the generator on this particular tractor. Now these are, when they're good and right, they work well, but they do get a bit of abuse, especially if they haven't had a lot of oil, which this one looks like it's been running quite dry at times. So here we have the two flyweights move in and out that work the throttle lever. So they work on this lever here, which is connected to this rod, which eventually goes through. I can't see it because it's upside down, so I'll turn it over. Hang on a minute. Here we go. If I can do it without breaking anything. There we are. So on the other end, there's the throttle rod. That's connected to the carburetor. And as the tractor comes under load, slows down, those weights move and puts more movement into the throttle rod, thus opening the carburetor, giving it more fuel. But as I say, they tend to get a lot of wear in these gears. As you can see there, I'll try and get the torch somewhere near. There's a lot of wear on this one, a lot of wear. I can see for a start that the heel is out. Heel being that these two gears here, there should be level across the back of them, and they're not. And also the backlash, which is that movement that you get before it's actually moving the fan shaft gear. You just see it there. It seems extremely excessive. There's two bearings in the either ends of this shaft, one in here, in this housing here, and another one in here. And your magneto goes on the end of here, on the end of that piece. And so what I plan on doing, I'll strip it all down and see where the wear is. I'm just hoping that those two gears aren't too worn, because I've got to say, you shim these things up to get rid of all the backlash and get the heel correct on this here, on this bit here. You put some shims in there, and you also put shims in this housing. Now they're just paper shims again, but there doesn't seem to be a lot in, and really to take that play out, you would be putting shims in. You would be removing shims to tighten it all up, but I won't be able to tell until I take it to bits. The fan shaft is pretty simple really. It's just a shaft inside this tube. There'll be a bearing at this end, and the fan comes off on a snap ring in here, which is fairly easy to take to bits. And so that isn't too complicated. That there is the oil feed to... In the top of this housing there's a drilling which actually sprays oil onto these gears, and I'm just wondering if this is why it's a bit dry in here, whether that drilling is actually blocked. We'll not be able to tell until we get to bits. And so it feeds oil up to that drilling, and also oil to this part here, which goes to the oil pressure gauge. So I mean, there's been so much wear in these flyweights that they've actually been moving and touching the housing, which is excessive. Anyway, we'll take it to bits, lay them all out on the table and see what we've got. Okay then, I would count the shims in these two housings, these paper gaskets, but to be fair, I've done them counted them in the past, but I like to reset them anyway, so you just make up gaskets to fit to tighten it all up again. But I'll show all that in another video. Alright then, thank you. Bye.